Dear brothers, it's about quality, not quantity.
So guys, it should be your conversation, the way you flow, your presence is enough for a woman to want to be around you, not how much money you spend.
Dear sisters, it's about knowing your value.
My sisters out there, don't be afraid to scare a guy off just because you have standards.
Dear brothers, dear sisters, it's time to come together.
Hey, hello. Welcome to DBDS Live, the No Pandering group and podcast. We deal with the issues and give solutions. I'm your host tonight, Carl Surrett, a.k.a. Carl the Coach, a.k.a. Mr. Accountability himself. And I'm here with my wonderful sister, my baby sister. She is an author. She's one of our lead moderators, my sister Cam. How you doing, Cam?
Oh, I am great, Carl. So now put us in charge tonight.
So yes, we're gonna bring it to you live tonight. We want to give a special shout out to our brother Mel, allowing us to host tonight. And brother, you know we got you back. We're gonna have a Divine show. So how's your week been, Cam?
Oh, it's been amazing. Absolutely amazing. Off all next week, getting ready for Thursday to spend with the family, friends. So always love this time of the year, even though every day I am grateful and thankful for everything and everyone who is in my life. But it's always, great to slow down for one day and be with everybody on the same page. How about you?
Yeah, a good week. You know me, on the road, grinding, running around, and hopefully I'll slow down sometime this week and give me some greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes, keep it going. And definitely thankful, and I'm thankful, for everything that I have and people I can help. Like you said, just give thanks every day. That's the biggest thing. So
absolutely.
So, but we've had some interesting topics this week going around the community, but we're not going to get into too much of that. We don't want to get caught in a legal backfire on some of that, but we will definitely touch base on some of that stuff as we go through some different things. But but so tonight we're going to discuss the unrealistic expectations and how they're keeping people single. What do you think about that?
I think that is a much needed conversation that needs to be had because just from what I've seen over the past couple of years out there in terms of dating advice, and I use that word advice very loosely, I don't necessarily see that a lot of it has been wholesome and healthy. And if anything, it has continued to create this divide between men and women. It hasn't necessarily brought us together. So that's where I am on that.
Mm-mm. Oh, no, okay. Yeah, I think here we go. All right.
You good?
I'm good. Yeah, it was a little loud noise outside. I hope they didn't blow the transformer out there. I had to start looking. I'm like, what's going on? Okay. But yeah,
don't get on the news tonight.
No, I'm not going to be on there. So, but yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started. We got two amazing guests that are going to be on here tonight. And like I said, yeah, this topic is going to be good. I think a lot of people really have some unrealistic expectations, and they're not able to fulfill even what they're looking for and asking for. So So we're gonna bring our guests in. You ready to bring them on board?
Let's do it. Let's go.
All right. First person we're bringing in, she's been on the show before. She's been with DBDS since day one, so which is amazing. And she keeps it real. Don't know what's gonna come out of her mouth as she talks tonight, but just be ready for it. Grab your pen and pad and be ready to grab some notes. But coming to the DBDS studio is our sister E. Janae.
Hey everybody! Hello.
What's going on, sister? How you doing?
Welcome.
I'm great. How are you doing?
Awesome. Look, we got some new people watching us tonight. So tell them a little bit about yourself, why you're on the show, and why you've been rocking with DBDS since day one.
So I am author E. Janae. I am a 5-time self-published author, 2-time Amazon best-selling author. My first book is a full feature film on my website at ejanaellc.com. I have been rocking with DBDS since day one because this was one of the only platforms that came from real people, not these quote unquote, these extra sensitive gurus that end up having scandals of their own, but these was real down to earth individual. Mel and his crew just kept it real and kept it true. And they reminded me a lot of my father, which I'm going to talk about some of that and some of the topics we're going to go over today. Why men in your life, your father figure in your life is important. And I rock with you guys. I support you guys. And I'm so proud of the continuing level up that you all are doing. So that is why I am here.
Awesome. Appreciate you guys coming back on tonight. So, and now also coming to the DBDS studio, our first time being on here. She has been dropping lots of great nuggets on her page, and we definitely want to get her input tonight. Coming to the DBDS studio, our sister Candy.
Hi, good evening.
Hey Candy. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. So we got some viewers watching. So go ahead and tell them a little bit about yourself, what you do, where you're from, and why you're on the show tonight.
Okay. All right. So my name is Candy Knight. I am a radio personality from Huntsville, Alabama. Roll Tide. I'm a big Bama fan. And I am also an inspirational influencer. I am a communication specialist. And I love all things love and relationships. So I think I'm here to bring a media, spin to love and relationships this evening.
Awesome. So this so we don't have any issues later on. So you Roll Tide, and we got a bulldog up top. So
we'll see you guys soon. Very soon, yeah.
So yeah, 2 weeks. I'm looking forward to that game.
Tickets are ridiculous.
So tonight we're going to be touching base on how unrealistic expectations are keeping people single. And before we jump into our first topic, we're going to watch a little video clip real quick of people who are helping folk have unrealistic expectations.
Number one, and we're going to start off from worst to the best. Number one, the category you don't want to be labeled in, and no, it's not friend zone or friend, it's creepy. Nobody wants to enter the creep zone. I know exactly how I ended up in the creepy zone with those couple of women. They caught me staring at that ass.
It's not about spiting the other person. It's not about making them jealous. It's not about teaching them a lesson or punishing them. No contact protects you. That's what no contact is about. I know it seems drastic. I know it seems somewhat extreme. Like, why are you talking about no contact? Why are you talking about cutting them completely off? You trying to encourage women to take revenge and do this.
Oh man, those jokers. But anyway, woo! I tell you, it's rough out here.
Right.
It is rough. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into our very first subtopic, which is unhealthy expectations that will keep you single. So, real quick, as before I go to my first guess. So when you think about this from an unhealthy part, we look at expectations that we have that will cause issues, that will cause bigger problems than what we need to have, and don't work. And then we realize why is this? It's like repeating the same thing over and over and over again, and you're hurting yourself, realizing you're hurting yourself, but you don't want to make any changes. So coming to my first guess, EJ, what is your thoughts of unhealthy expectations?
Unhealthy expectation. I'm gonna try to keep it short. So as I was stating in my intro, it kind of goes back to having a father figure in your life. Because me as a daddy's girl, my father set expectations for me from a man's perspective. I remember I was a young teenager, and I was trying to go out with my friend, and I had on like a halter top, and my shorts was real short, and he was like, "Yep, come here. We can't do that. You can either wear the halter top and put some pants on, or you can get some shorts a little longer and wear your halter top." He said, "Because what you want is to be respected when you walk out of this house." My dad taught me that very young. And a lot of these unexpectations, these unhealthy expectations come from not having structure in life growing up. And it goes into adulthood because a lot of people don't heal their childhood trauma. And a lot of people did not grow up with their father. A lot of people grew up, in single parent homes, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it is, but it's not, because that's how things happen today. But taking a father out of a child's life has those barriers, those empty spots that sometimes women, they go looking for a father and a man, and he's just not gonna pay a $300 car note on date one. Like, be for real. That's not gonna happen. I'm raising boys, and we're not gonna do it. It's not going to happen. As a woman, and I was divorced and married again because I believe in marriage. I've never been bitter towards marriage. And my expectation for my now husband was not for him to come into my life and heal me and be my hero. However, he is my hero because he did, protect my heart the way I was taught and I saw. My mom and dad were old school, and I was raised with them all of my life. And I saw my mom fix my father's plate every day. That's what I do for my husband now. Those things growing up, we do have to get to therapy quick, fast, and in a hurry. We have to heal these childhood traumas and keep away from those individuals that want to keep you in unhealthy relationships with fathers, with mothers, with family, with friends, and even in a relationship. A lot of people get out of relationships because of bad information from somebody else that's bitter. Child, everybody needs to heal. Heal therapy. Check your insurance policy. You probably can get it for free. That's my stand.
Appreciate that. So coming to my next guest, Candy, what is your thought? What are some unhealthy expectations that you feel keep people single?
I'm going to start by saying I agree with E, who just talked about healing and therapy. That is the basis of kind of where we need to begin when we're thinking about expectations. But when I think about expectations, I think about, in a nutshell, I guess, attributes or characteristics that we expect or want our partners to have when we're choosing them or when they're approaching us. And so I think we need to kind of differentiate and kind of move to more so a standard approach versus expectations. And I feel like the expectations come from exposure, social media, what we were around when we grew up, who we were around. And so we have this ideal, I know for women, younger girls, the fairy tales, this whole facade of our prince coming in and saving, that is kind of where the expectations begin. And I think looking and being exposed to certain things can kind of create what those are for us. And a lot of times they are not realistic. So when we get to the expectations, looking at a standard per se versus the expectation, and realizing that people aren't necessarily just going to be this made up fairy tale version or perfect version of who you want them to be, and accepting for who they are and what you're bringing to the table and how that's going to complement each other. That's kind of how we can shift and create a healthier expectation versus something that's unhealthy that are keeping us from the person that we want.
Very well said. So, Cam, you know, we had these conversations, sis. So
We're always having these conversations.
So I'll go ahead. What are some unrealistic, unhealthy? I shouldn't even say unrealistic. It's unrealistic too. Unhealthy expectations that are keeping people single now.
Well, I'm going to start by saying definitely Ijane hit the nail on the head when she was talking about childhood traumas. I've always said on previous shows and even in the group, you know, you don't have to be physically, mentally, you know, abused as a child to have a traumatic childhood. There's a such thing as being abandoned by a parent. Whether you had two parents in the household, did your parents focus on you? Did they give you the time, effort, and attention that you needed as a child growing up? Because guess what? If not, you're going to grow up to be an adult seeking that from your partner.
Yes.
And then, you know, Candy definitely said something, you know, that was good about we definitely need to get therapy. I am a big believer in it. I've done it. 2 days after walking away from a marriage, I was on my therapist's couch, and there I stayed once a week for 18 months straight. And that was because that was not my model growing up. So you could say I was the black sheep. I was like, this doesn't feel right. This is not what I want. So I'm stepping into new territory, and I need to know how to maneuver it.
Yes.
So that's what I did. But back to the question at hand, unhealthy expectations that will keep you single are lists like the ones that have been going viral all over social media about what restaurants you will not go to if a man takes you there. Really? Guarantee you would take yourself there though.
Yep.
If you were hungry, you would probably go to every single one on the list. But when it comes to a man who's trying to get to know you, it's no longer good enough. How did that happen? So it was very interesting seeing these lists going back and forth. First with the women, then the men with the clapback, and then eventually it just settled down. You know what? How about just have some simple, easy expectations of, can we just get along?
Right.
Can we just have a conversation? That's all I'm trying to do. Just trying to get to know you.
Woo. Well said, my sister. Well said. So I'm gonna add this before we go. I think we got a couple of comments that have come in. I'm gonna say this, and these are a couple of things I look at. Now, hopefully, I don't get us in trouble with the FCC on what I'm gonna say. But like a couple of unreal expectations. They're unhealthy. You know, it's like men who are running around talking about, oh, I want a woman with a low body count, but you're out here trying to sleep with every woman. That makes absolutely zero sense. Like you want this, but you're creating more numbers. You're out here imprinting on all these women, but yet you want a woman that has a low body count. But bro, you're going the opposite of what you're looking for. If you want that, then stop sleeping around. Get in a committed relationship. The other side of it is, I hear a lot of women saying, oh, I want men to be like grandpa and pay all the bills and do all this stuff. And let me just keep it 100. Grandpa was getting purity. Grandpa was getting a woman who stayed home with her daddy and was wholesome and pure, most of the time a virgin, but y'all want premium money for used cat, and that don't work. That is a unrealistic expectation. How do you get in premium for used? You can't go. You're not paying the same price for a used car. So these are things that are keeping people single because you're going opposite of what you're asking for. So when do we take a look? And again, all y'all said the same thing. Health, therapy. When do you go to therapy and really do the work? When do you do these different things? When do you sit back and say, you know what, the same thing? What they say, definition of insanity is repeating the same thing over and over again. If you've been married 5 times and been divorced 5 times, you are the issue. You are the issue. If you've been in 10 relationships and each one failed, but you kept dating the same person in a different body, you're the issue. But we don't want to admit that.
Right.
I always tell people, when my marriage ended, the first thing I did was look in the mirror at myself.
That's right.
Yes, I had grounds to blame her because of what she did, but I looked at me and said, okay, what did I do wrong? What could I have done better? And how do I be a better person? And that is what a lot of people, because of the unwillingness to take accountability, is keeping them having these unhealthy expectations. I believe social media is playing a big role in that because everybody's trying to be the next internet sensation. So that's just a rant from me just on a couple of different things there. But let's go ahead and pull up our first comment here. And Kim.
Okay. It's very simple. Would you want to be in a relationship with you?
Good question. Yep. Next.
I think especially to date multiple people, be considered a rule, or should be considered a rule when looking for a man or woman you want to marry one day. I, as a person, have always done this subconsciously, be it talking stages or sexual relationships. I hate how having multiple exes is frowned upon. Okay.
You want to touch on that, Kim? Go ahead.
So it sounds like, can you go back to the front or to the first part of that comment? Because it sounds like so they're about dating multiple people. And we've done a show before where we said, like, there's just some terms, like, I know what dating means for me, but Carl might have an idea what dating means for him. And so, we can throw these terms out there, but until we have a conversation about, okay, what does that mean for you? What does that look like for you? So this person sounds like dates a lot of people and they feel like they're looked down upon for doing that. But at the end of the day, it might be a stretch, looking for a man or a woman to marry one day. That's the point of them dating multiple people. That's how they go about it, basically.
Right.
EJ?
Like Cam said, like, what's your definition of dating? Like, are you dating everybody just going out to eat, you're going to a movie, or are you sleeping with everybody? Like, what your dating look like? Because if we sleeping around, baby, listen, just do that. Don't call it dating. But if you're really dating and you're having conversations about the future, like if he really don't want kids or if she don't want kids, like if you don't want to live in this part of the country, like, are you having real conversation or you just, paying some money, getting some, you're a pimp, right? Seriously, like what is your definition? Like, if you can answer that, that'll help me answer you. Because right now I think you just, I think you're a hoe. Next, I'm sorry.
304. Candy, any take on this?
I think that the comment can come off as confusing. But I agree. I am an advocate of dating multiple people when getting to know, or when you're looking for a partner. But my definition of dating seems like it may be a little different than the comment. For me, it's just conversation, spending time, figuring out what values we have that align, if we're on the same page, and then we can head into an exclusive situation. So yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I was looking at, if we go to the last part, that kind of threw me off.
Yeah.
And
And especially so
be it the talking stages or sexual relationships. Yeah. That's not dating.
And he said multiple exes. Like multiple exes, so you calling them a full relationship? I'm confused. Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
And how many exes are you in like 5 relationships in 1 year?
Multiple is by 5.
Because that's a red flag if you're jumping from relationship to relationship. So I need a little more clarity on this to kind of.
It's only 12 months in a year. If you got 5 in 1 year, that's a lot. Mm-hmm. But that's who you classify as an ex. Like, what's the other dating people? Are they just casual? I mean, what? I define this for me, baby. I'm sorry. I can't. Yeah, no.
And it's fine for that to be a rule for you, but what works for the goose doesn't work for the gander.
Yeah. I'm trying to keep it together. I'm gonna say this and we're gonna go to the next comment. If you're looking to marry, the only thing you should be doing, and Candy said it best, and I think this is the thing, Kim, I think we will talk about dating differently. I remember dating, if you had talking to stage, you were talking to different people, you were trying to figure out, dating became your exclusiveness.
Correct.
And then you had courtship, and then you had marriage. Right. So I think people are using dating loosely. Again, another term they've moved into a new parameter. Right. So they can do what they want to do. They say, oh, we're dating. But as Cam said, did you define the definition of dating? And as Ian Day said, are we 3 or 4 in this type of dating, or are we dating exclusive? So I think that's something.
Right.
Yeah. That, but I appreciate the comment. Definitely. Yeah. That's So again, you have to decide what's going to work. But if you're trying to marry, having all that stuff that you're dealing with and things, can you turn all that off once you find one exclusive person, or will it cause you to keep looking? Absolutely. So next comments. Let's see what we got.
An oldie but a goodie dating rule, in my opinion, is to never talk about past relationships and breakups. And please, for the love of me, don't treat your conversation as a monologue. Great topic, DBDS.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Funny video clip, LOL.
Yeah, it is.
Next.
Dating has evolved into a fast food culture of empty hookups with no nutritional values. Wow, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
That is a good one. Let's go. People want $1 million experiences with a $5 soul. Oh.
Yikes.
That's a
yikes.
Yeah. That's that. As I say, some people say, know your worth. And I say, some people think they're worth that, but they're worth a penny. But that's okay. So,
I know.
Yeah, that's just interesting. That first comment, but okay, we got to move on now. But we're going to go ahead and take a commercial break, and then we're going to come back with this second topic.
Yeah.
So many people are calling for police reform. And so because they're calling for police reform, they may not understand that there are many organizations who are already responding.
And I feel like you have to really get to know people, see if they share the same core values as you before you get involved with them.
I want to ask a question as to how we got to this place right here, where mask wearing, where COVID-19, where public health is all politicized. I really want you all to think about this. How did we get to this particular point?
It's really a nice balance when femininity and masculinity can mix together and just create this awesome, experience.
Woo! Welcome back, my people. Oh man, we're having a great, awesome conversation. How unrealistic expectations of keeping people single. I'm here with author E. Janae, Miss Candy, and my co-host Cameron. Again, just having a fabulous time tonight. And look, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're watching this on YouTube. That definitely helps us out. We appreciate that for everybody that's watching the show. But I want to play a little video clip real quick. Again, just unrealistic expectations. We were talking. Cam brought up the list. So this is one of the things on the list where people don't want to go. So let's watch this video real quick. We're gonna respond to that, and we'll jump into the next subtopic.
Yeah, this is the Cheesecake Factory. This is the Cheesecake Factory, y'all.
What's the problem with that?
This is a chain restaurant. Who takes someone that looks like this to a chain restaurant?
You want to talk about it? I'm fine with talking about it, even in front of them.
Oh yeah, I want to talk about it.
Yeah. So you expect a man to go all out on the first date? Is that right?
I mean, you're supposed to. When you take out a beautiful woman and you're courting her, because I get courted.
I get courted.
Courted?
You get courted. You not getting courted.
No, that's
not not on a first date.
No.
Mm-mm.
No.
You getting sent to court. That's what.
Pretty much.
So EJ, I'm gonna ask you real quick. What was your thought process on the list?
I thought that's why everybody is still single. I am married. And we go to the Cheesecake Factory. We're probably going to go there tonight when we go to Atlanta, because that is one of our favorite places. And if you knew what to do with the cheesecake, you wouldn't mind going as a married woman. Okay.
Appreciate that. Candy, your thoughts. What was your thoughts about the list going around and having a radio show? I mean, what were your listeners saying?
It was a mixed review. More so, most of the viewers or most of the listeners saying that this girl is outrageous. Like, her standards are higher than high. It was very rude of her. How dare she? And I can understand and agree with that. I feel, though, that the problem I had with her in the video was that she wanted to expose him and talk down on him based on what he wanted to offer to her. I feel like that could have been a conversation before they even got to the date. If you don't want to go on the Cheesecake Factory on the first date, then mate up or pick someone or entertain someone who is on the same wavelength as you are, who wants to go to, I don't know, Ocean Prime on the first date, instead of insulting him based on his restaurant choice. So you can feel how you feel. Just find someone who is willing to accommodate that and don't put them down in the process of that. I like Cheesecake Factory. It's one of my favorites. However, there are restaurants that I don't care for. And if someone wanted to take me there, be gracious enough to go. Enjoy yourself. You never know what will come out of it. But putting them down in the process is okay. And that's the problem that I had with her.
Absolutely.
Woo! See, you said something there. Even though you may not like that place,
right?
You end up going, and you never know what you get out of that. You could go to a place you don't like and walk out as a wife because you win.
Yes,
that's amazing, and that's how I look at it. I mean, you think about that. You're going, you're enjoying it, because if you're asking a man to take the lead and all this stuff, and he's sitting there, he's paying out of his pocket, and he's taking you, and you go, and then you realize, you know what, I don't like this place, but he makes this place nice because of his character and values, which is probably why you're going. And then he's, like you said, as a married woman, you're giving input because you're married, and a lot of people who try to give input ain't got nobody even looking at a jewelry store. But anyway, so we're gonna move on to our next topic, and our next subtopic, which is healthy expectations that can lead to a healthy relationship. So let me frame this real quick for you. So really, when you're thinking about it, these are things that are tried and true. These are things that people who have been married or who have been in a long-term relationship understand. Okay, these are the things that you need to have, and what you need to be looking for to build a healthy relationship. And that's what DBDS is all about. Like I said, we're willing to deal with the issues, but we're going to give you guys solutions. So like we talked about the issue, now it's time to talk about some solutions. So coming to Miss Candy,
Okay.
what are some healthy expectations that you feel that can lead to healthy relationships?
I feel that healthy expectations are more aligned with your core values of who you are and what you want. And in alignment, I know we talked about the unrealistic. That usually deals with the outer or the flashy or the extra parts. But the realistic part is, how do they treat me? How do they treat their family? Do they have a relationship with God? Are they able to add and contribute to my own peace, my own joy? Can we come together and create something greater than we can, individually? So the healthy expectations are core values for me and beliefs that would attribute to an amazing relationship.
Let me ask you this before I go to Ejene. So do you feel a lot of people don't understand what core values are?
Absolutely. And I think the core of the core values is knowing who you are and what's important to you. And 80-90% of the dating population that's dealing with this craziness going on, we don't know who we are or what we want or what's important to us. So once you figure that part out, then you're able to align and figure out what your core values are, what you stand for, what's important to you, what you want your married life and dating life to look like. Once you have a grasp on that, then you're able to find a partner that aligns with that. Absolutely.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Well said. Miss Ejene. So I don't know what's going on about your mouth. Go ahead. What do you think? As far as healthy expectations that led to what are some healthy expectations you had that led to your second marriage? Let's dive in. Let's get a little deep here.
Let's go. Okay, so coming out of a first one, the first thing we like, what is the give and take, and that's what we lost in the first one. Now we co-parent really well. Our team, for my son, we do our thing for real. And we were young, I can't give that as an excuse, but we had a lot going on. We had too many people in our heads, too many people in our ears. And as we both matured and we both have remarried, knowing what I knew now, we could have, actually possibly worked, but then maybe not. I don't know. But however, we are here. So those things that are healthy is to give and negotiate, not to take. Stop taking. Stop being a manipulative person. Stop thinking, I'm going to do this so they can do that. No, have your mindset that I'm here for this man or this woman, to love them, to try to make their life better with me. I don't want them with nobody. I want them with me. And what can I do to make their life better? If I don't have but $10 and he has $100 and we need to buy something that's $50, okay, well, I'm going to give you my $5 and you do the $45. That's how we give. Or he pay for the whole thing and then I buy the little accessory, the battery to go with it. Like, be there to be a help, man and woman. You should expect to be there to help, not to take. And if, like Candy said, if you don't like the restaurant, that's a negotiation. I'm going there because they love it. I don't care for it. It's a few places I don't care that me and my husband go to, but I go because I'm with him. He goes to certain places because he's with me. And because I know, because we had a conversation about the things we do and don't like, or what we do and don't like to go because of maybe past traumas that we are still healing from, or whatever the case may be, the reason we don't like these certain things. We talked about it and we make it more comfortable or fun because we are there. It's a give and negotiate. Care about who you're with. It's not about money. Yes, you got to have money to survive, but it's not about taking. Love, give, and God will definitely bless your union.
Woo! Pass the plate. Can I get an amen?
Absolutely.
You said, appreciate y'all. You said something very powerful before I come to camp. You know, you said love and give, not, you know, you and correct me if I'm wrong, but you didn't marry your husband because of what he can do for you. It's what y'all can do together. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely.
See,
and that's what we're doing together tonight.
See, that's what I'm talking about. See, I think a lot of people miss that part. I think so many people, they're looking what they can get out of the relationship, not what they can put into the relationship. I think a lot of people are caught on how, you know, what are they going to spend on me, or what are they going to give me, or how big is this house going to be, or how many cars are we going to have? And I think I still go back to, I still think social media plays a big role in these falsehoods, and people have all this debt, and there's a lot of arguing and bickering behind the scenes, that we don't see, that that they're not putting out there in that facade. You know, the facade is out there in front of us, and folks say, I want that. You know, and I was, you know, I remember this hearing this years ago, I was younger. You know, you don't want what somebody else wants, because you don't know what hell they went through to get to where they're at. So wanting what somebody else wants is going to cause you to have to go through the hell they went through, and you may not be prepared to deal with the hell the way they dealt with it. No. So coming to my sister Cameron, as we talk about these healthy expectations, what are some healthy expectations, Cam, that you live by and that you can share with the audience? And just how it, you know, again, you know, you and I, we're the same, both divorcees, but we both have hope and desire marriage again. So what are some healthy expectations to have to be able to get back into the dating field to marry again?
Absolutely. So, first of all, Candy definitely hit what is prime and supreme to me on my list, and that is to know thyself. I know what my core values and what my core beliefs are. That is my foundation. And because I have that foundation, I know what and who I want.
Right.
So if anything or anyone comes to me that doesn't match that, guess what? I'm not going to have that. Dang, I wasted my time with them. No, I'm not wasting my time, because they don't line up with, they don't agree with my core beliefs and values. Next on my list, I have a partnership mindset, just like Ijane spoke about. And you want to learn, you want to know how I learned how to have that partnership mindset? It wasn't during my marriage. It was after my marriage. Because in that union, 2 children came from the both of us. And they became our primary focus. And because he and I did not want to raise 2 children in 2 separate households that downed the other parent, we had to be on the same accord. We had to be partners for those kids. So, talk about being a partner with someone you used to be married to, and you have trouble liking them. Let's be real here, people. That's the real work. Not what's posted out here on Instagram or wherever. I'm sorry if I name something, but anyway, what's out there right now, it's for gnats. Basically, it's clickbait. It's, oh, what can I catch for 15 seconds of your time? Is it solid? Is it wholesome? But let me tell you something else that's on the list. You can have a list for your ideal partner, but guess what? You've got to be that partner first. And I always talk about 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 8. And if you can't do everything listed there, guess what? You should not be looking at anybody else to do it for you, because you can do it for yourself. It starts with you. Period, point blank. Communication, same page as it relates to family, finances, friends, and fornication. Can y'all talk about all 4 of those and no one gets triggered to the point that I don't like you? Really? Why? I'm speaking from my perspective. Can you not be a safe space for me? I'm being vulnerable with you. I'm being transparent with you. Now, you want that from somebody else. Can you do that for them? Right. And one more thing. I need some things to be normalized. Because again, we got all these lists about normalize this, normalize that. And I'm like, my gosh, really? Y'all want to normalize that? How is that helping you? Where is that getting you? But let's normalize being transparent. Normalize being vulnerable. Normalize being a safe space for your partner. That's it.
Oof. Well said. We thank you, Choir. I'm gonna add this, and that's just, well said, Cam. I mean, again, that safe place. How can and I think a lot of people don't understand that. How can you ask for someone to be a safe place if you're not a safe place? That is definitely a healthy thing. You have to, because I know for myself, I had a list. I did away with a list, and it was the best thing I could have ever done, because I felt like I was too rigid on dates and being out there, because I was looking for the list to be checked off. So I said, okay, I'm going to have fun, do away with the list, and blessings came right from that. So that is a big thing for me, even like I'm big on reciprocation. I'll do, but if you're not reciprocating, I'm out immediately. It's just, I'm done. Block, keep it moving. But I also had to take a look at myself, and I said, I have a question behind this. I had to look and say, okay, I'm never going to get 100% reciprocation, because they're learning me. And I don't want somebody coming at 100, because that means they got their own way of feeling how they should reciprocate, and it may not work for me. So I had to say, okay, what is enough reciprocation for me to continue to pursue this relationship? So real quick, I'm going to come to Ejanae. What is your thought process on people having these expectations of having someone who's 100%, or do you think 80% is a wholesome enough person to date and not be out there looking for the other 20%?
So, of course, every relationship is different. The people really, like the ladies have been saying, they really have to look within and see what is the most important thing. When it comes to reciprocation, when somebody don't reciprocate what you're doing, then maybe you should have a conversation about where are you going, and if it is worth continuing, because what has triggered them to stop accepting or reciprocating what you are giving off. Because sometimes trigger points come up, and even if they went to therapy, we didn't get to that part. Maybe it wasn't necessary, and maybe now that you're trying to be for real about a situation and go forward, something has triggered it, and you might need to have the conversation first. And it doesn't matter what percent they are. I mean, it should be a high percent rate, but it's conversational based, is who the two are and what they're looking for out of their relationship.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Candy, your thoughts on the reciprocation? Is there, if somebody's not giving you 100, do you feel like you can still maintain that relationship because it takes time to get there, or do you just abandon it?
Well, every relationship is going to take some type of work. And I feel like you said, no one's going to come in knowing and giving 100%. But I think it's important for us to understand and know what is most important to us. That will determine for me if the 80% that they're giving matters. No one's perfect. let's say, for instance, love languages. If mine is physical touch and words of affirmation, and I'm not getting that at all, that's their 80% that they're able to give. That's not going to work for me because I know what is the most important for me. So once you understand and know what the 80% consists of, if that's good enough for you and it meets your core needs of what's most important to you, then you're able to kind of work with that and go off of that. And honestly, relationships at any given time can kind of be all over the place. I may give 80% today and he may have, 50% tomorrow. And then the next day I'm giving 20 because I don't have it to give. So if you have the mindset, well, if they're not going to always meet 100%, then you're never going, that's the unrealistic expectation. Like it just kind of, relationships are fluid. And so some days they're better than others. Some days I may be able to give more, take more. But just having that mindset of if this person is able to give the core of what I need, then we can work on it. Then we can create something great and we can create a good partnership.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cam, your thoughts on that?
I definitely agree. I think Candy said something very important, that relationships are fluid. And I think social media has given people a false narrative about relationships, and that, relationships are always going to be like, these hotel rooms filled with roses and beds with petals and like heart shapes and candles everywhere and boxes, Gucci boxes, Chanel, like absolutely. Like, where y'all living? Seriously, it's like that every single day. Where y'all like, and like seriously, come on. But and it's like when people hear work, they think like when it comes to relationships, it's like, work. But if you approach it like Carl, like relationships are fun, just like I did after my divorce, being in Atlanta and everybody saying, oh, the numbers, there are such and such. Like, I promise you, for about 30 seconds, I was like, oh my gosh, what have I gotten myself into? And then I was like, you know what? Dating is fun. And I promise you, dating was fun for me. Okay.
Y'all missed that. That's okay. He said was. We at a different stage. But anyway, so I just, again, this is one of these things I think as we get ready to go to comments, I think a lot of people look for things and they think they have multiple options. And I think social media gives that false narrative of expectations that, hey, if I'm not getting this today, I can go somewhere else tomorrow. So if I'm not getting the 20% from you today, you go out there chasing 20%, but now you're missing 80% because you look for 20%. So, but we've got some comments. They're coming in, rolling in. Let's go ahead and go to our first comments.
Let's see.
Drum roll.
Let's see.
Do people respond well to BDSM? Is it a necessary component in a relationship? As a man, how to healthily express the pain, pleasure dichotomy?
Yeah, that's I'll say this way, that that's the gray 50 Shades of Grey he's talking about.
Yeah,
that's a definite. I guess again, it takes a person. You have to have that conversation early on instead of wasting somebody's time. And then you just have to find. It's just you have to find somebody who is into that particular decorum. Yeah, that's the best way I can say that.
Yeah, because you never know, you might be bringing up someone's triggers from childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Their emotion or their physical abuse, sexual abuse as a child. So you have to be very careful about that.
Correct. Yeah. Next comment.
This was my takeaway for today's show. Relationships feed our soul. So the longer we stay in one that doesn't feed it with the right things, we damage our soul instead of enhance it with good. Absolutely. If it don't feel good, it ain't good.
Yeah.
That's our first mind, basically, of the day. I used to have horrible relationships when I was in my 20s. I'm married now, and my wife and I get along great. You have to pick a few things that are very important to you. The rest is give and take. Let the little things slide. I love this.
Yes. Awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Next.
When you learn to love yourself, to see yourself whole and complete, you let go of the I need and I want mindset. Having a partner is to be compassionate, to share experiences together, to enjoy life together, but without needing or wanting more from him or her. Absolutely, because you can give it to yourself. Awesome. Great show. Thank you, Floyd.
Boy, appreciate it, brother.
Patience. Hi, family.
AP.
Hey.
What's going on, AP? So with that said, we're going to get ready to take one more commercial break, and then when we come back, I tell you, time flies so fast on this show. It does. We're going to go ahead and do our Jerry Springer moment. So hold tight. We'll be right back to DBDS Live. Welcome back to the most mature podcast out there.
Yeah.
I'm your host, called Accountability Coach. I'm here with my sister, Arthur E. Janae, Miss, I'm going to call her DJ Candy.
Yeah.
And my sister, co-host, Cameron. So we're just having an awesome discussion on how unrealistic expectations are keeping people single. And we even shared some points of what healthy ones look like. So and before we go to Jerry Springer, I want to remind everybody there will be no show next week. Thanksgiving weekend, so you guys enjoy the weekend break. But we got a treat when we come back on 12/3, December 3rd. We're actually going to be doing a show talking about how depression and stress of our children and how it affects our relationships. Our children, when they're dealing with that, how it affects our relationships. So that's going to be a very good show dealing with mental health and some things. Got some amazing guests to be on that one. So tune in definitely on December 3rd. So as we come and we close out on our Jerry Springer moment, I'm going to come first to my sister, E. Janae. What are your final thoughts on today's show?
Final thoughts is, of course, know what you want and stand on what it is you want. And if you're with a partner already, y'all find out what you want together and individually and reach for those goals. Stop listening to all these people in your ears and looking at stuff on social media is what have you. Continue to be single at 85 years old. Let's get together.
Yes.
And now well said, E. Janae. Now coming to my sister, DJ Candy. What are your final thoughts for today's show?
My final thoughts are be real. Like, know what you want, know what's important to you, and lean into that and find that. It's more important to also become and be the person that you want to receive. That way you can partner up and be a healthy unit together.
Appreciate that. Well said. Thank you. So Cam, coming to you. This is another phenomenal show. I appreciate co-hosting with you. This will be, we get to do it again in December.
Okie dokie.
Yes, we will be. So what do you, yes, ma'am. So what are your final thoughts on today's show?
Final thoughts. I'm echoing what the ladies have already said. Know what you want. Know yourself. I'm going to add on there. Silence the noise of social media and even your inner trouble. Just because it works for them doesn't mean it's going to work for you. You have an idea of what kind of relationship you want. And it might not match up with what your friends think, what your family thinks you should be in. But does it make you happy thinking about it? That person might not even be here right now, but that's okay. Stay focused on that. Who cares what other people think about what moves you and what makes you happy? Because at the end of the day, it's you who has to look in the mirror and accept the choices you have made.
Awesome. Appreciate that. And my final thoughts, and I appreciate everything, Ejanae, Candy, Cam, appreciate y'all, the nuggets you dropped today. I'm going to add this, like I said again, definitely go do the healing work because you can't even have any expectations until you're healed and whole enough. Hear me, healing never stops, but you're whole enough to date. That way you're understanding what you need and what you desire. Look at people's core values, look at people's characteristics. Stop dating people for just their outside. Yes, attraction matters. You know, I always hear people say, you know, well, looks fade, but nobody wants to start at the fade. So looks are going to attract you to somebody, but what are their core values and where are their characteristics and how do they align with you? And special note to the men, let me tell you this. Stop thinking you're a man because of all the women you run through. Stop thinking you're a man because you can control a situation or a situationship. Stop thinking you're a man because your expectation is, well, I'll just have a bunch of kids. Learn to grow up and control your manhood. We as men, there's no way we can lead if we don't know how to lead ourselves. And if all you're doing is leading yourself astray, you're going to lead the woman you're with and that family that you take over or become partnership, I should say, with, you're going to lead that relationship astray. So have an expectation of yourself, men. Stop listening to these dudes out here that brag about paying all this stuff and having all this money or flashing all this stuff. Time to grow up. Time to stop playing games. Time to man up. Really be a man and understand what manhood looks like. Not just stuff that social media portrays, but what real manhood looks like. And if you need help with that, you can always reach out to me. I will help you out with that. So that said, another phenomenal show. I appreciate you, queens, again. Everything, all of you who have tuned in. If I didn't get to your comment, I am sorry. We get so many coming in here with this, but we are on our way off the air.
All right.
I appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all next time. Go ahead, Kim.
No, I was going to say, I know, Mel takes it away a certain way. You want to take it away a certain way?
We just exit on out. Let's go.
Exit out. Bye, everybody.
Bye.